Today's comic book review will be Batwoman by Marguerite Bennett. I'm a huge fan of Batwoman after reading Batwoman Elegy. I picked it up from the library. Amazing art, really good writing. I really liked how they turned Kane into her own character. If you're not familiar, Batwoman is a superhero vigilante in the vein of Batman. I think that Batman Elegy was written by Greg Rucka, I believe, and taken over by other people later. Really good stuff. And the Rebirth is a different writer. It's Marguerite Bennett. I've only read DC Bombshells by her. That series is kind of all over the place. It's based off of a line of figurines. It's like bombshell versions of the DC superhero characters, but in the 40s pinup style. And they tried to make a whole series based off just that. The series is all over the place. But I wanted to check out this because I like Batwoman. Batwoman is shaped by several key moments in her life. Kane is suffered in tragedy in her childhood because her mother was killed in a hostage situation. And when she tried to go to West Point and become a soldier like her father, but she got kicked out for being gay. And then she got mugged in an alley, but Batman saved her, and it sort of inspired her to become a crime-fighting vigilante very similar to him. So after training around the world with her father, she became Batwoman. And I don't remember when the other series went out, but the series, I think a couple years ago before this one, really good writing, and then they moved, I think they switched writers to Mark and Draco, really good run. Mostly Batwoman deals with supernatural threats. She dealt with like characters like the Hookman and kind of like a Bloody Mary type character. She takes on supernatural threats in that series, so that's sort of what I'm used to. However, in these new volumes, The Many Arms of Death is the first one. They're trying to make her more like a James Bond globetrotting type of character, and it doesn't completely work. They add in this whole backstory that when Kane was in her partying years after West Point, before the mugging by Batman, the mugging where she was saved by Batman, she was partying on a yacht and she fell off, and she ended up in this island named Coriana. And she had a lover there who sort of is the peacemaker for different rival warlords. It's a safe haven for criminals on the run from wherever. And there's this whole backstory involving her and Sophia, this other character. And in the present day, she's trying to stop these drug dealers from unleashing a virus. Very standard stuff. We've seen this stuff before. I haven't read Dick Grayson's Spiral stories, where he becomes an agent of Spiral. I would imagine it's very similar. It's very pedestrian, though. I do like the character of Kane. They add a couple differences, like she doesn't have good terms with her father, and she's facing new villains, but these new villains are very boring. Just drug dealers, drug runners of sorts. And then in this volume 2, I thought they'd mix things up. It's called Wonderland. However, it's the same as the first one. She goes up against a different sort of villain who's working for those drug people, and she has to fight Scarecrow. It's typical stuff. It's nothing we haven't seen before. I think Marguerite Bennett should have stayed with the whole supernatural aspect, or at least kept some of those aspects in, because this new Kane is kind of boring. She goes to exotic locales, fights some people, they get away. She does the same thing in the second volume. This is definitely a take it or leave it series. I would probably abandon it now. I'm 2 volumes in and it's not gripping me. I know it's hard to follow up the series that came before it, because that one was a really good run. It had J.H. Williams III doing amazing art. The art in this one's okay, but the writing is just, it's not that great. They keep going back to the same flashbacks on the island. It needs to move on. It needs to do more, I feel. So Batwoman by Marguerite Bennett is for hardcore fans of Batwoman only.